And there we go. So welcome to today's 1 hour webinar hosted by Prevention Plus Wellness, located here in beautiful and historic St. Augustine, Florida. My name is Dr. Chudley Wirch. I'm president and founder at PPW. That's Prevention Plus Wellness. And today's topic, as you can see by the slide, is the sport, which is now called Prevention Plus Wellness, one session programs for youth, high school, middle school, elementary school. So this is our evidence-based sport program, and I'm going to walk you through the program today. So I don't think it'll take a whole hour unless you've got questions or comments. So we have the time, we have the flexibility. So if you don't mind, find your toolbar, point your cursor at it, locate the more heading on the end, point it at those three horizontal dots, and you'll be able to see the drop down, and there's a chat space there. So we can start out right now with the chat space. Go ahead and click on it, make sure you can find it, everyone. For those of you that have that option, some of you may be listening in. And you're welcome to click on the chat space and introduce yourself if you'd like, who you are, where you're at, what organization you're from. And normally we have people from throughout the country and even abroad. So if you want to do that, you're welcome to just click on chat and say hi to the group. And I'll just give you a moment to do that. And by doing that, you'll be able to know where that chat space is so that throughout today's session, if you have questions, if you have comments, you'll be able to click on that and communicate with us. So this is your time. This is your hour. So use it any way you want and be as active and participatory as you'd like in this session. So I'm going to walk you through the Sport PPW program. Some of you may have been trained, some of you may have implemented the program. But this is an overview of the latest version of the program, and certainly some of you have never seen it or really know that much about it. So thanks to those of you in West Virginia, beautiful West Virginia, and Michigan, and the rest of you I know are just shy at this point. So we're just going to go ahead and launch the lesson. So we got three objectives for today. So we're going to together explore the contents and steps for implementing the 2021 sport, that's alcohol drug PPW program for high school, middle school, elementary school age youth. This program is a universal prevention intervention. It's designed for all youth, although many organizations also use it for high-risk youth, youth already using substances. And you have that flexibility to use it as a universal, selective, or even indicated intervention. And secondly, we're going to examine the scripts as well as the PowerPoint slides used in providing these PPW programs to participants individually, or in other words, one-on-one. Particularly if you have high-risk youth, that's always a good strategy, is to implement the program to them individually. But some organizations implement it to all youth individually, but you have a script in your manual to implement PPW, the Sport PPW program, to youth individually, one-on-one, as well as in a group, in person, as well as online. Lastly, we're going to review the built-in evaluation tools, the training opportunities, the resources, and the new adaptations, which make the sport and all PPW programs even that more practical, feasible, and effective, and a great opportunity to promote not just prevent substance use, but promote protective wellness behavior. So we'll cover all that today. Here's what we're talking about. It's the Sport Prevention Plus Wellness program. From the left to right, it's the high school, middle school, elementary school versions. These are the front copies of the program manuals. And so these are the 2021 versions of the manual. We do update them regularly, almost annually, based on the feedback that we get from you, our wonderful providers throughout the country and world, and the feedback that you give us saying this works, this doesn't work, that we need this. And so we're always listening to you. So please do communicate with us. Let us know if you need anything, if you need us to develop anything. And really out of that came our new video program, our new sport high school video program. So we've got a brand new interactive video version of the program, in addition to these manual-based programs that we talked about. And from that, from the feedback we got from you, we also created the sport parent program just recently released. So we do listen and try to listen carefully to those of you prevention and health specialists throughout the country, and what you're doing and what you need and what you want. And we try to work with you as a partner, a good partner, as good as we can be, to help you, support you, and create what you need for promoting overall health, physical and mental well-being of youth in your regions. This is an overview of the Sport PPW program. It's evidence-based. By that, we mean, and I mean, that the sport program has undergone a number of randomized trials, randomization to receiving the sport single session lesson versus comparison of control group, baseline data collection, follow-up data collection. Those positive results have been published in refereed scientific journals, and then after all of that, they've been listed on a whole number of evidence-based registries like Blueprints for Healthy Youth Development, NREPS, the NREP, which is now defunct, and a whole bunch of others. So this is evidence-based. Sport is shown to prevent alcohol, tobacco, marijuana among general youth populations, as well as high-risk substance using youth. And I almost forgot, also significantly increasing physical activity. Sport targets alcohol primarily, other drugs a little bit, also promotes physical activity and sports participation, breakfast and nutrition, sleep, and stress control. It's a single session intervention that can be implemented in as little as 40, 45 minutes or as long as you want. And while it's a single session screening and brief intervention, which is evidence-based practices, it can also be easily expanded. And in fact, we also have a Sport 2 prevention plus wellness program, high school, middle school, elementary school. And that Sport 2 program has 6 lessons. So we have quite a few organizations that will implement sport, single session, and then up to 6 more lessons with the Sport 2 program. But we also show you our resources on our website that you can easily expand your sport single session program if you want to. Sport as number 4 comes with slides, PowerPoint slides, which you implement when you present your lesson. You have a script. That's one of the unique aspects of our sport program. All PPW programs are scripted. That means it increases reliability and fidelity, replicability of the program across implementers, time, settings, and it cuts down on lengthy training requirements. So that's why our online and in-person program implementer training is just a couple hours. It can be really great because the programs are scripted. And you have a script to implement your program, as I said before, to you individually. That means one-on-one, or in a group. That means 2 or more. If all PPW programs are based on the behavior image model, it's a unique marketing model focused on using positive imagery for youth to increase motivation for change, and multi-behavior goal setting to initiate and maintain behavior change. The sport program also comes with optional parent materials, which you'll see. You'll see all of this, just clips and pieces, bits and pieces of all of this today. In addition to your manual, you get a physical manual. You also get a digital download of your slides and all your reproducible materials. So one of the great things about this program is that you purchase it, you get it, and then you don't have to keep buying materials for your youth or for yourself. Online protocols are built in for the pandemic and beyond. So if you want to implement your program, not just in person, but online, very easy to do that. Okay, so that's the sport program. That's an overview of the program. Now let's take a look at the table of contents. If you open up your manual, look at any of your sport manuals, whether it's high school, middle school, elementary school, you'll see these 8 chapters, these 8 sections. You've got an introduction, you've got step-by-step directions for implementation. Section 3 is you have a screening survey and goal plan / contract. Those are also in your digital download, so you can make copies of them when you implement your program. Remember, sport, like all PPW programs, is an evidence-based practices screening and brief intervention. It consists of 3 components: screening youth for their health habits, giving feedback, and then walking them through goal setting. So that's why you have a screening survey and you have a goal plan. That's part of the intervention. That's section 3. Section 4 is your script for providing feedback, a feedback lesson to that youth individually. Section 5 is your script to implement the feedback to a group or a classroom. Section 6 are your evaluation materials. You got pre-post surveys, you've got process measures. I'll walk you through all those today. Follow-up parent flyers are included in your sport program, so you get to have get parents involved in a very cost-effective way, and that is you want to get parents to provide the same positive image communication that you're providing to youth in whatever setting you're implementing it to youth, whether it's schools or boys and girls clubs or whatever the case may be. And lastly, there's a new online follow-up goal plan to continue to have youth set goals, monitor goals, and learn to shape their own health behaviors. So, any questions at this point? I know you may have some questions. Don't be afraid to, or bashful to, click on the Q&A or click on the chat and send me a note, and I'm happy to answer any questions as we go along, or we'll certainly answer them at the end of today's session. So this is the 3-step evidence-based screening and brief intervention practices process that sport and all PPW programs use. Step 1, we screen youth for their current health habits, not just their substance use. If it's sport, that's largely alcohol. If it's the marijuana PPW program, obviously it's cannabis. If it's the vaping PPW program, that's e-cigarettes. If it's the opioid PPW program, that's opioid use. You get the idea. So not only substance use, but wellness habits to address the chronic disease risks that are common among youth. What am I talking about? Talking about that most youth in the country are not getting adequate physical activity, are not eating breakfast, are not eating fruits and vegetables, are not getting adequate sleep, are not controlling their stress. All of these things lead over time to chronic diseases like obesity and heart disease, etc. So we address that in sport and other PPW programs by promoting physical activity, sports participation, healthy breakfast and nutrition, getting adequate sleep, and controlling stress. So that's what that screening survey is about, is to get youth to think for a moment about what their healthy habits are at this current time. Second part of the 3-part sport PPW program process is to provide feedback about each of those behaviors in that screening survey. And you use positive image communication. In other words, you talk about the benefits of these wellness behaviors, and particularly using positive image terminology like fit and active and successful and healthy and popular. And those things are designed to trigger an unconscious image of youth of themselves in the future. And to the extent that those are valued, they're likely to increase motivation to take the next step, to try to improve those behaviors. And of course, part of this communication is feedback you're providing includes talking about how alcohol or marijuana or vaping, whatever, interferes with or is a barrier to each of those positive wellness behaviors, benefits, and images. So that's the first two steps, screening, feedback. These two steps are designed to increase motivation for change. Step 3 is goal setting contracting, which is designed to initiate behavior change and over time improve self-regulation skills to set, monitor, and achieve, and then eventually learn to shape their own health behaviors over time. And this is unique goal setting. It's not just it's not focused goal setting like a typical goal setting. It's about avoiding substance use and improving protective wellness behavior. So there's the 3 steps: screening, feedback, goal setting, evidence-based practices, screening, brief intervention you find in sport and all prevention plus wellness programs. Sport prevention plus wellness and most PPW programs include these components. You can see that these 7 components. You can just look down this list, if you will. There's directions for implementation. As I mentioned already, you've got your screening survey, behavioral screening survey. You've got your scripts for implementing your program individually, one-on-one or to a group. Colorful slides. I'll show you these slides so you have a better understanding of those. You've got your you've got options for your screening survey and your goal plan. You've got hard copies of those, but you also have slides that allow you to present these the screening survey and goal plan online. We do include scannable pre and post tests to assess the effectiveness of your program, your sport program with your youth that you've implemented. So it's very, very focused and will help you get the kind of feedback that you need to promote and to improve your program. There's also an instructor survey, which helps you assess the quality of your presentation, a fidelity checklist. Then, as I said before, we do have flyers for parents. They can set up 4 weekly flyers. They used to be mailed out or handed out night. Of course, you have the flexibility to email them or post them on your website and email parents about them. It comes with a letter and 4 weekly flyers, a phone protocol to call parents to see if they've received them if you wish. A follow-up goal plan to encourage you to continue to set goals beyond your single session sport lesson, or to continue the process of meeting with you and having them reset goals on a weekly basis. Plenty of online resources to enhance your program, sustain your program, improve your program, expand your program. We always provide phone and email support for all of our providers throughout the country and world. And lastly, we do provide a 2-hour online program implementer and a 2-hour online train-the-trainer sessions online, but also in person. And looking forward to go back on the road to providing some of these trainings in person and meeting some of you again. With the improvement of the pandemic, of course. So these are steps for implementation. They're in your manual and you can follow them. And of course, we cover them in our 2-hour online program implementer training. Because your program is scripted, it's very simple. You follow the script. You follow the script and you can't go wrong. You practice the script and you can't go wrong with implementing your program and likely having very positive outcomes. But you can see the list here from 1 to 9. The first important thing is you get some training if you can with us. You get that 2-hour online training and then you practice your scripts and then you're ready to go. Then you're really ready to go and you just follow the script. You make copies of your materials that you're going to be implementing, screening surveys, goal plans, pre-post tests, whatever you're going to use, make it in advance and then implement your program. If you're implementing online, not a problem. You follow the slides online and you have options to implement it easily online as well as in person. The flyers, of course, optional. Parent flyers are optional, but they're a great way to get parents involved and to provide the same positive image communication you're providing to youth. And you can always, and we recommend this, you always should re-implement your sport program every 6 to 12 months. So it's a good booster for youth. Now, what some organizations will do is they'll implement sport and then they'll implement some of sport too. Or now some will implement 1 week, they'll implement sport, and then the next week marijuana PPW, and the next week vaping PPW. So you've got a lot of flexibility with the development of our other programs, our other prevention plus wellness programs that address other developing epidemics of substance use among youth. These are continuing steps for implementation, 10 through 14. After implementation, you should complete an instructor survey. That's a process assessment of the quality of your implementation. There's a fidelity checklist you can use. If you collect pre-post surveys and you collect them, and you had your youth before the lesson and after the lesson fill out a scannable pre-post test. All you have to do is collect it from each youth, put this pre-test on the post test. Youth don't have to put their name on it, code numbers, nothing, because you physically have the pre and post test together, put them in a box or an envelope. When you're ready, you could scan them, and then you print your scanner, send us the PDF, and we'll run a free analysis for you because we've got the software to do that. We also have the pre and post test in a link. We can give your organization a customized link to the pre and post test. You just give the links to the youth before and after the lesson. They click on them, they complete the pre-post test. You got all your data collected for your assessment of your program. Very, very simple, efficient, and yet gives you that critical information you need to again, promote and improve your program. And we do recommend everybody go to our website, preventionpluswellness.com, and drop in their email so that they can stay in communication with us for our weekly emails about free webinars like this one and resources and research that we present. Now, let me start to walk you through the script, starting with, again, we're going to look at sport high school version. This is the group feedback lesson. You can see on the left-hand side of your screen. This is the introduction. And then if you look to the right, you can see the introduction is very brief, a couple of sentences. Hello, for the next several minutes, I'll be talking with you about the Sport PPW program. It's an exciting new fitness and health program. And together, what we're going to do is we're going to look at habits that can make you look better, feel better, and improve your performance in physical activity, school, and relationships. So that's the script, that's the introduction. Notice, very brief. You can expand it if you want, but now the youth know what's coming up. This is what you would present to youth, and you want to present it with a lot of enthusiasm and passion, good eye contact, good presentation skills, and all of these are are key components of good presentation and are on your instructor survey. So if you complete your instructor survey, which is a self-assessment of your implementation, you'll know that you're implementing this with as you should implement it, with good communication skills and good presentation skills. So this is the introduction, very brief, as I said. And then you're going to screen youth for their health habits by implementing the screening survey. That's step one of the three-step implementation process for sport and all PPW programs: screening, feedback, goal setting. Now take out your copy of the sport PPW health and fitness screen. The purpose of this survey is to determine what you're doing about your health. Your answers are private, so we don't want you to put your name on the survey. We want your answers to be secret. We want them to be private, and we want you to answer honestly so that you get the most out of this. So that's it. That's the introduction to the screening survey. You have the screening survey in your digital download, so all you have to do is make copies before you go into your group or your classroom, and you can distribute those, maybe bring some pencils and pens just in case some of your youth aren't prepared. And you're going to implement the screening survey. And this will increase their awareness of their health habits. Here are some of the questions of the screening survey on the Sport Prevention Plus Wellness program for high school. The first question is, what sports physical activities did you play in the last year? There's a long list of them that goes on, and youth can continue to put in under S other kinds of things that weren't listed: regional sports, any kind of work they've done, chores at home or for somebody else, any kind of movement of their body you want to give them credit for in the last year. The second question is about regular physical activity, 30 minutes or more, 4 or 5 times a week, like walking, running, swimming, etc. The answer yes or no. Question 3 is about is a social environmental assessment of whether their friends support them being physically active. Question 4 is about healthy breakfast and nutrition. And then there's the question about sleep, and then there's the question about alcohol, and then you provide feedback. So the screening survey is only, 5 to 7 questions, very brief, takes only a couple of minutes, and the screening survey is theirs. You don't need to collect it, you're not interested in it. It's for them, it's part of the intervention. It's to increase their awareness of their healthy habits. Okay, so after that screening, second step is feedback. So let's look at the feedback for Sport Prevention Plus Wellness High School. And what you're going to do as a provider is you're going to implement the feedback in the order in which the screening survey items were listed. So the first screening survey question was sports physical activities last year. So here are your directions on the right, because they're in brackets. Show your slide. So it's very easy, follow the script. And you're going to ask your group members to raise their hands and respond if they participated in any of these activities in the last year, last 12 months. So you go down that list again. What sports physical activities did you play last year? You'll see that slide will come up. And then you just go down the list. Who played baseball or softball? And that means even if you're through baseball or softball, or ahead of baseball or softball, you don't have to be on the league. How about basketball? Who played basketball? That includes dribbling a basketball, shooting a basketball in your driveway. Raise your hands, etc. So you go through this whole list, and everybody will see that their peers and friends are physically active, because you've gone all the way back to the full year and you're giving credit for anything that's physical. Then you're going to continue providing feedback, and this feedback is usually in a 2-step process. The first step is you're going to present the benefits of this wellness behavior. In this case, it's sports physical activities in the last year, including any positive images. Very important, because those are very motivational messages. And then secondly, you're going to link how alcohol and drugs interferes with this wellness behavior and achieving those benefits and images. So here's the benefits of sports and physical activity. You're going to show a slide. I'll show you the slide in a minute, but the script is good for you. Sports and physical activities are a great way to get regular exercise. Sports and physical activities are fun. They help you look fit and strong, feel good about yourself, and give you lots of energy. They also can help you do better in school. I would say also work, sports, relationships, etc. So here's the slide that you'll show when you present that script. Notice to the left of the slide, these are the benefits of sports. This was in your script. Fun, fit, and strong are very powerful image terms. Those are the terms that are going to evoke an unconscious image of themselves. They'll see themselves in the future. We want our kids to be fit and strong. They want to be fit and strong. We want to be fit and strong. So these are universal motivational images for all of us. And this will increase motivation for change, giving you lots of energy, help you do better in school, work, sports, etc. So, and then in addition to that, for the visual learning, the text, you'll have an image representation. So we want to show both genders, all different ethnicities, different positive activities, and so that's why we've got this image here of some kids playing basketball. And this is high school, so we want to show a similar age. We want youth to see models or representations of themselves in these slides. These slides, by the way, can be modified or tailored to meet your needs and your population's needs, and we discussed that during the online program implemented training. The second part of your messaging, this was the first part, remember, you highlight the benefits and images of that wellness behavior. Then you're going to link how substance use, alcohol interferes with that. So here's the script to the right. However, an active lifestyle, alcohol don't mix. Using too much alcohol can hurt your performance in sports, physical activities, in school. It can also have a negative impact on your health and your relationships with friends and family. Notice the script's very brief, so when you practice the script 3-4 times, it'll become almost memorized, and it'll be very easy to glance down at the script, look up at your youth, and present this content and show your slides. Very, very easy to provide sport PPW programs to youth, individual or in a group. And here it is. Here's the again, the text, which for the visual learner, they want to see as you talk to them, and then of course positive image illustration to the right. Other feedback that you're going to continue to present during your lesson are the other items on the screening survey: regular physical activity norms, breakfast and nutrition, getting adequate sleep, alcohol and drugs. So that's the feedback you're going to present to your youth during your script and showing your slides. There's a number of alcohol drug topics based on research which shows that these are factors that influence youth. So that's why this content is in your sport and other PPW programs, including alcohol can harm your fitness and health. It could cause life problems, alcohol myths. Most youth do not drink, which is a very important corrective social norm messaging. Choose for yourself and plan ahead. And then recommendations for increasing your wellness, not just avoiding substance use, but increasing wellness. And related to increasing wellness, here it is. You're going to present this to youth. Notice number 5, you want them to avoid alcohol, but also other substances. That's why we have them listed here: tobacco, e-cigarettes, prescription drug misuse, marijuana, illegal drugs. But starting with number 1, more regular sleep. 8 hours a night. Some need 9, some need 10. So plenty of sleep is critical to overall mental and physical well-being. Healthy breakfast every day. Here it is. Here's what it looks like. Different kinds of foods: eggs, oatmeal, yogurt, fruit, as well as plenty of healthy foods, fruits and vegetables in particular. 3, plenty of physical activity every day. 4, practicing stress control techniques most days. And that includes physical activity, but other things as well. So that's what you're going to promote during your, your recommendation for increasing wellness among youth. Throughout your lesson, you'll have discussion questions. For some reason, this one's not coming all the way up. But it's sort of a stop and think question. You're going to have these on your slides, and you're going to pose these because you want youth to think about their lifestyle. Like this one: what types of healthy foods do you like to eat, or would you like to eat more of? And you're going to pause, and you're going to let that sink in and let them think about it. And then you could ask for 1 or 2 or 3 responses from your group if you present this to a group. That's it, screening and feedback. Third step, we're on to it now. Complete a goal plan / contract. Here are the components of goal plan contracts in the sport and most PPW programs. Recommendations for wellness that you saw on the slide earlier. A pledge or identification of substances that youth will avoid for the next 7 days. Number 3, identifying an area for them to increase or improve a measurable wellness area: nutrition, sleep, stress control, physical activity. They write that concrete measurable goal. Number 4, they sign it and you co-sign it. Very important. Research shows sharing goals, making it a contract improves and increases motivation for change. Daily goal monitoring for the next 7 days using a goal calendar, which is in the youth's goal plan. And very, very important, number 6, congratulations. Instruction as to what to do from here on in, meaning to monitor their goals every day, to reinforce their goals, reward their goals, to set goals at the end of the 2nd week, and then some good old-fashioned coaching or motivational interviewing to get them pumped up and excited about they can do this. They just have to go after it, not quit, and keep working toward a better and improved self. And that could come on a week-by-week basis. There are goal plan options as well as screening survey options. You get hard copies of your screening survey and goal plan. You've got 2 PowerPoint options for your screening survey and goal plan. And then we even have an option of an online goal plan to continue the process beyond your single session lesson. Now, let's say you're going to present your lesson to one youth at a time. This could be a general youth population, or it could be high-risk youth, like those caught, using a substance. It's likely that the one-on-one method of implementation is the most effective, because research shows that tailoring your lesson will increase effectiveness. However, the group script is the most efficient script, because obviously you can address the lesson within multiple kids. So it's up to you. If you can implement your sport PPW lesson individually, do that. If you can't, you've got the group script. So this is the lesson. This is a snapshot of a piece of the individual feedback lesson script. So under number 1, you're going to provide feedback, first of all, on the first screening survey question, which sports physical activities last year. And notice the directions. What you're going to do is you're going to collect the screening survey from that one youth. Of course, when you present this one-on-one, you should be in a setting where it's private or semi-private, because you're talking to that one youth about their personal health habits, including alcohol. So it has to be, you have to protect their confidentiality. So you're gonna pick up that screening survey from them, glance at it, and then provide feedback based on how they answered each one of those screening survey questions. The other way to do it is simply show the PowerPoint slides, and each of those screening survey questions are restated in the slides, and you can just ask them to answer verbally. And then if they say yes, you read the yes response. If they say no, you read the no response. So you can see the yes and no on the slide. Yes is highlighted in green, good, go. No is highlighted in red, warning, higher risk. So look at the difference. This is the initial customization of the message. So under the yes response for sports physical activities, oh, I see you participated in. They checked off some of these things, or they mentioned that they play, that they motorbike and they walk to school. And good for you. That's it. That's all you're going to do. Good for you. Fantastic. And it's built into the screen. It's built into the script. So all you have to do is follow that script. So if they said yes to getting regular physical or to getting physical activity last year, you read the yes response. If they said no, then you read that no response and you see, I see that you may not be playing any sports or participate in physical activities. You can really improve your health and how well you feel by being a little bit more active. So that's the difference, that it's that customization, that tailoring. You're going to either provide them positive feedback, good for you, congratulations, that's awesome, keep it up, or neutral feedback. And it looks like you may not be doing these things, and so you can really improve your health and how well you feel and do better in the future. So you don't want to have any, and we don't have it, negative feedback, because negative feedback can tune out messages. Your young person will tune out listening to you if you are going to give them negative feedback. So it's either going to be positive or neutral. And that's the difference between the group script and the individual feedback lesson script. Evaluation materials, I think I mentioned some of this already. We have a pre-test and post-test survey for you participating youth and young adults, an instructor survey, and a fidelity checklist. Let's take a look at the pre-post-test survey. What is this about? I mentioned already it comes in two formats, a scannable format. In other words, you make hard copies of it from your digital download, you hand it out, you collect it, you run it through printer scanner, and you send it to us and we run an analysis. The other is the online version. It's actually a SurveyMonkey version. We can give you a customized link to the pre-test and the post-test. You just give those links to your youth before and after the lesson, during the lesson, and they click on it, they fill it out, very brief. It takes only a couple minutes, and it's a beautiful thing because you've collected your pre-post data. You haven't had to touch it, you haven't had to scan it, you haven't had to enter it, and it's there for you. And that is invaluable data for you to assess how well they're doing at the end, but also whether there's any immediate pre-post change before and after the lesson. What are we measuring before and after a single lesson? You can't measure behavior because there's no time to see a behavior change. You know, you have to have a follow-up of a week or a month or 3 months, 6 months, a year. So what we're measuring are indicators or predictors of behavior. The two predictors are behavioral intentions, which is the most highly predictive measure of future behavior. The second is perceived risk or harmfulness. Behavioral intentions measure, we're going to measure not just alcohol use, but 5 substances: alcohol, tobacco, e-cigarettes, marijuana, and I think opioids. And the 4 wellness behaviors are also being measured: physical activity, nutrition, sleep, and stress control. And then for perceived harmfulness, you're going to assess perceived harmfulness not just on alcohol, for alcohol use, but again, those 5 substances: marijuana, cigarettes, e-cigarettes, and opioids. So we have identical pre-post measures, behavioral intentions, and perceived harmfulness, so you can see if there's change from pre to post during that lesson. And there's 2 critical qualitative items, open-ended items, that you want to encourage your youth to write as much as possible, because they will help inform and understand the quantitative measures of behavioral intentions and perceived harmfulness. And even more so, you'll be able to use those, in the words of the youth, qualitative items to promote and to improve your program. So the open-ended item is really, really important. The instructor survey is for you. It's going to help you stay on track and for you to assess your quality of program lesson implementation and communication. So for example, I guess that's just a description. It's a self-assessment, but it can also be used as a observational form if you have a manager or supervisor that wants to use it and observe you practicing implementing the sport program. And 7 process measures, for example, level of enthusiasm and passion. So important to implementing this motivational intervention. And so that's the instructor survey. And then there's the follow-up flyers, the parent flyers, parent letter and 4 weekly flyers. Again, this is completely optional, but we have conducted one study of 3 of the 4 flyers and found them to significantly prevent or reduce alcohol and marijuana among youth whose parents received them. So it can be effective. So if you can get these out to parents, do that. Here's a snapshot of the core of flyers for number 1 for the sport high school program. And essentially what we're doing in these flyers is we're giving parents a checklist that they can use if they want to. And with each of the checklists has messages, positive image, positive behavior messages that reinforce the messages that you gave to the youth. And so so they'll be reinforced perhaps at home, and to give parents hints as to how to really help their youth, support their youth in being healthy, and that includes avoiding substance use and improving wellness habits. So likely to go over very well because it's not focused exclusively on just risk messages. It's really very positive communication that parents can use. We have a whole bunch of online resources. Go to, if you haven't done this, please do this. Go to preventionpluswellness.com. Go to our menu and click on resources, and you'll see all of these resources. They're available to anybody. You don't have to use our programs. And there's some really, really important things here. Number two, there is about promoting your program, and it could be, promoting healthy behaviors too. It doesn't even have to be about promoting PPW programs. That's number three. Number seven, healthy lifestyle guidelines, so that you can help you set goals and you can share these with parents, coaches, teachers. Number eight, a whole bunch of web-based resources for youth, but then also for professionals like you and parents. That's number eight. That's PPW, youth, teacher, and parent resources. Lots of good things here. Number 10 is an online goal plan. You're welcome to use all of these things, whether or not you use Prevention Plus Wellness programs. The training that we offer a 2-hour online program implementer training, very practical, very efficient, very helpful. 2-hour online train the trainer if you want to train other providers in your area. We have a 1-hour training if you want to train parents to implement sport to their youth and their families. Of course, we have in-person training. We haven't done a lot of it because of the pandemic. Mostly it's been through We Train Trainers, and trainers offer in-person training. But we'll looking forward to going out now with less pandemic risk and training in person at your site. You just have to request it from us. And we have usually weekly free webinars. So sign up on our website, just drop in your email so that you get notified of the free webinars like this one we provide. Our latest programs that we created because of feedback from professionals like you is we took sport, high school version, and we created it and developed it into an interactive video program. Two videos back to back. Screening and feedback is one video. The second video is goal setting. And you could present this as a teacher in a classroom, or you could send it as links to youth and have them complete it on their own. So really, really dynamic imagery of youth participating in healthy behaviors, nutrition, sleep, physical activity. There's music, there's narration, really fantastic. Check it out on their website. If you want us to send you a link to see the whole thing, happy to do it. Send us a request at info@preventionpluswellness.com. That's the Sport PPW program, high school version, and we plan to create adapt our other programs into video if we get requests from people like you. We also have brand new sport PPW program for parents, or parent program. It's the sport program adapted for parent use. We train you, and then you in an hour, and you take the slides and turn around and train parents and give them resources so that they can provide the same positive image communication at home. It's sort of it's more than just the flyers. You're going to actually train parents in a couple-hour training period. So what you get with this is you can see the 4 things there: 1 hour online workshop, PowerPoint training slides, which you present to parents, instructor directions for you, and then a parent guide that you give to parents so that they can provide prevention plus wellness messages to their youth at home. This is a list of all of our programs, 1 through 15. Notice 15, we have that Sport 2 program. I think we'll have a lesson on webinar on that coming up. That's our 6 session program. And with people going back to school, they might want to have more than just one lesson, like most of our PPW programs. But remember, you can easily expand beyond one lesson, and most organizations do that by simply focusing on the goal setting for lesson 2, 3, and 4, etc. So we cover all of that in our online training. There's our website, although we switched out the cover slide the other day, but there it is, preventionpluswellness.com. drop in your email and get free webinars and web-based resources that promote prevention and wellness. And preventionpluswellness.com, 904-472-5022, info@preventionpluswellness.com. All right, I'm going to stop here. Looks like there's some comments. So Aaron asks, could you use the individual script for a smaller group or for enriching assessment? I would say probably not, Aaron, because it's designed to provide individual feedback. So what I would recommend in that case is you simply use the group script. And a smaller group is better than a larger group. So use a small group, use the group script, but you can't really use the individual script, because let's say you had 6 people and you had the individual script. You'd have to give feedback to each one of those 6 people, and then those 6 people would receive that feedback, and that could have a negative influence. And it's also sharing confidential information. So my recommendation in that particular case, and I'm happy to talk to you more about this, Aaron, is to use the group script and to take your time and have more interaction with your discussion questions and more interaction and help during your goal plan. That's what I'd recommend. I hope that was helpful. Let's take a look at the chat and see if there's any questions here. We have some people saying hi, which is great. Very informative, encouraging talk. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Positive feedback. Please send link of webinar for sign up. I will do that. I'll send you the link for the sign up. Thanks for asking for that. I'll also send everybody a PDF of these slides, a link to the recorded session, and a 1-hour CEU certificate for listening in. So all of those things. Is this webinar free? Well, it's too late now because I haven't collected any fees from you. So yes, our webinars are free, and we're happy to provide the webinars. We have online training that do charge for, programs we charge for. So yes, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Okay, makes complete sense. Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you, thank you. All right, and thank you guys. God bless you for what you do for youth and families in your communities. Thanks for listening in. I know you're all busy. Take care of yourselves, and if we can help in any way, please let us know. We're happy to team up with you, partner with you. Sorry, I jumped back on with my phone, have to leave now. Okay, no problem. You'll get all of these follow-up materials, like I said. And if you have any questions, just let me know beyond today's session, info@preventionpluswellness.com. And I'm happy to send you samples of our programs or anything you need. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day and a great weekend. And hopefully we'll see you next week for some of our webinars. Bye-bye.